For After Hours, I am Don.
I'm Joe, and Don's still a filthy whore.
Yeah, I just accept it anymore. And tonight we have our special guest is Shane, or we call him Bundy.
How you doing?
And you probably won't hear me for the rest of the night because it's all about politics tonight.
We're going to suck him into it.
Yeah, we'll get him in here somehow.
So, where do you want to start, Bundy?
Well, you were suggesting at the federal level you knew quite a bit about, and you wanted to do something a little bit different, like the state level government or maybe some local stuff.
Yeah, I'm more versed on I'm by far not an expert, but I'm better versed on the national level. I would like to hear some local stuff or state level stuff.
Well, on the state level stuff, I sent you a message on Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, I like Vivek.
Vivek is awesome. He's an independent guy. He finally threw his hat officially in for the governorship.
That link you sent me, by the way, that link you sent me by the time I actually went to look at it, because you sent it to me and I tried to find it the next day, it was gone. But yeah, he pulled his paperwork last week, I believe on Wednesday, and he threw his hat in the ring yesterday or day before.
Yeah. If nobody knows this Vivek Ramaswamy, please do their due diligence. Whatever I have to say about him, check him out for yourself. I have a lot of positive things to say about him. And if there's something that you don't like about him, look it up. Everybody's got Google.
Right? I like him. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Vivek is he's a stand-up dude. I put him right up in the same category as I put J.D. Vance.
Yes.
He would have also made a really good vice president.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
When he first came on the scene, he had a lot of Democrat-leaning philosophies, but I think he has changed his point of view on a lot of stuff, and he's more of a freedom-minded, conservative point of view now, and I think he's on the independent thing. I don't think he's Republican or Democrat. I believe he's independent.
I think that when he first came on scene, and you're right, he had a he had a lot of liberal left-leaning views, but I think it's because he's kind-hearted. He's got kids. He's got a family. He's considering the people that aren't in his situation. Mm-hmm. You know, the man's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to see families suffer.
Yeah, I believe he's a business owner.
Yep.
I think he's a little wealthy.
A little wealthy is an understatement.
Right.
He's getting a lot of shit. He's getting a lot of shit from Yost. Yost is like, well, let's see how long he actually stays in the race, because he quit Doge on day one, and then he moved all of his manufacturing to Texas. But, you know, he did all of those things because he's a fucking businessman.
But, okay, it's not like Elon's not handling this Doge. It's like, how many billionaires do you need running Doge?
Yeah. Musk went in there both balls deep.
Yeah, and he's handling it quite well.
I was talking to a guy at work today, and he was like, I don't know how to feel about Elon, because he's doing all this jumping around and acting all weird. I'm like, he's got Asperger's and autism. He's not a normal dude.
Well, you take that not normal with the Asperger's and stuff, and then you have the fuck around money.
Right.
It's like he could do what he wants to do, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, he could buy and sell companies whenever.
Yeah.
Like, so you really can't mess with somebody who's got that kind of portfolio.
Vivek's got almost that kind of money, but he's a little more centered, a little more grounded.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Vivek was running for president, I was bummed that he only hit fourth place in Iowa. I was bummed because I really like the guy. I really do, and I like the Cheeto King too. I was
Cheeto
stuck.
King.
Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Orange Man.
Yeah.
You know, the Cheeto
Okay.
King.
Got you.
I was stuck between the two of them. But when Vivek said, I'm not going for second place, I'm not going for VP, and he lost in Iowa, he hit fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what? I wasn't going for second place. I won't take second place. I'm going to fully endorse the Cheeto King,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do whatever the directives that this man has.
Yeah.
I thought that was really stand up of him. Instead of standing back talking shit, he just said, you know what? That's a better candidate. Obviously, that's who the people want.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really awesome.
This is why I respect him. He didn't place very well on the national scene, but as he went to more meetings and events where he got to speak, like he did a event with Charlie Kirk, and you know how he sits down with the college kids and he
Yep.
debates people.
Yep.
He sold me. If anybody wants to look that up, go right ahead, because he will win you over if you got a freedom-minded point of view and conservative. Yeah, he hit all the points, and he looked like he was honest.
He was confident. He was
Yeah.
confident in his answers.
Right.
The stuff he did with Charlie Kirk on college campuses, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because he didn't pull any punches and he didn't insult anybody. He
Correct.
just was matter of fact. Yeah, I watched those, and
Mm-hmm.
he was matter of fact. Like, no, I don't agree with you, and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he proved these college educated people. He proved them wrong without insulting them. Which the other side, they
Ds.
immediately go to insults and name calling
Right.
rather than going to facts. Our junior producer has decided that now is the time to go to the bathroom because he doesn't have anything to contribute because he doesn't watch the news.
No news. Well, on the Vivek issue, it's going to be relevant in the next election. So everybody needs to do their due diligence. And as I said, and Joe said, he's done debates. He's out there in the public enough. If you want to Google search him, his information is out there. And yes, the early stuff leans to the D side of things, but he has evolved, and I believe him to be truthful and honest on this stuff, that he is grasping the conservative, freedom-minded, liberty aspect of things. And honestly, as what we got running the state of Ohio right now, it's not very exciting when the people of Ohio have voted for certain bills, say like the marijuana bill,
Yeah, let's talk about that. You brought that up earlier.
that the people of Ohio have voiced their opinion on it, and it's been 2 years now.
And because of bureaucracy, legislation, and the slow-moving river of sludge that we've got, they can't open dispensaries because they haven't figured out the zoning, they haven't figured out the regulatory, they haven't figured out how far from other businesses they can be. It is completely cramped that industry. And,
Well-
and full disclosure, I don't use nor need that product. I am simply saying the government is in the fucking way of an industry that was voted for by the people. It was voted into law by the people.
Right.
But suddenly somebody has their foot on the fucking brake, and it's not the people.
And again, as full disclosure, I have a commercial driver's license, therefore I cannot partake in marijuana in any way, shape, or form. But the people have spoken. It's been 2 years. And if I remember right, there was a speech done from the governor who said that there will not be any dispensaries while he's in office.
Yeah, I do remember that. Good thing there's term limits.
Yeah, and somebody who's awesome running against him, because to go against,
The will of the people.
yeah, like where is the freedom? Where is the people's voices at? Like, he's supposed to be a Republican. There's an R by his name. He tried to work with Trump a little bit, and then during the pandemic over some mask issue where he was going to sanitize the mask, and that disappeared really quick. Like,
Yeah.
like I think Trump saw the BS wrote all over that one. So, if you do the due diligence on the DeWine family, you'll find them all over in lawyers, judges through the Columbus and Ohio area. And it's just basically an incestuous situation that needs to be broke up.
Incestuous.
Like the whole family, their family is just in it all over. I can pull up this Google and find judges that are DeWine, lawyers that are married to DeWines.
Well, incestuous is quite a claim. That's what makes me raise an eyebrow like, damn.
So their whole family runs a lot. Again, doing your own due diligence on
Well, I'm not going to go as far as to claim somebody's incestuous, but I get the emphasis. I get the emphasis. That's quite a claim.
There's a lot of family members who are in it. Just to say that they're running a lot of stuff.
Well, there's a lot of people running a lot of stuff. I mean, look at John Kerry and the Folgers family. Well, it's not my jet. You're just married to the woman who owns the jet. So
It doesn't have to be a sexual innuendo. I'm just saying there's a lot of family stuff going on.
but incestuous kind of insinuates. And I'm not worried about them. They're never going to hear this shit. So what? They fucked their sister. I don't give a fuck. They're not going to hear it. You know? We had 31 fucking people listening. Maybe. On a good day. I'm just... Man. That's a hell of a claim.
Just like I said, do your due diligence on it. You'll be a little shocked.
Well, I'm excited that Vivek is in the running. Because I really like him.
Yes.
I would have probably voted for him had he made it through the primary. Same with Tulsi Gabbard. And she's a lifelong Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have voted for her. I love her stance on the Second Amendment. I've said that before on here. That's a big one for me. She was on the no-fly list, and now she's national security.
Yeah.
I think she's an amazing person. Did you ever watch the Rogan interview with her?
No, I did not.
Oh, man. She was more Republican or more center libertarian than she thought she was. When she was doing that interview, I was like, this woman's not a Democrat. She's not what we see as a Democrat. You know, what I see as a Democrat is a Nancy Pelosi, a Feinstein.
Well, if you go back far enough and you look at Ronald Reagan, who was a Democrat, and he said that the Democrat Party left him, so he had to switch parties.
Yep.
And he believed in a lot of the freedoms that we believe in right now. So the Democrat Party has done a lot of morphing and changing depending on the area that you were in. So, like the West Coast, California Democrat back when Ronald Reagan was a governor was more freedom-minded than, say, somebody on the East Coast today that's a
Right.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Again, people, do your due diligence on this stuff. Don't just take my word for it. Like, Ronald Reagan was a very freedom-minded person who eliminated a lot of taxes and freed up the people to be the American entrepreneur and person that they could be at the time, and it bolstered like a multi-generational freedom and wealth that went, in my opinion, into the Clinton era.
Well, we also have to remember too that under Reagan, do you remember the Cold War? You're
A
old
little
enough.
bit.
How old are you?
Oh, I'll be 50 in April.
So you're older than I am. I remember the Cold War,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to be 47, or maybe I am already 47. I don't know.
No, you'll be 47.
Okay. Yeah,
That was Don, by the way.
I remember the Cold War, and Reagan got us through that
Mm-hmm.
without a single missile fired, without a single bomb dropped.
Right.
You know, he was a different breed of man.
Right.
He brought us peace, even under the threat of nuclear war. He brought us peace. When he was governor of California, he did what Newsom should be doing right now. Honestly, bringing down taxes, releasing some restrictions. California is a fucking shit show right now.
Well,
I mean, the Palisades fires showed us just how much of a fucked up conundrum that place is.
if I could take a pause from what you're saying on
Yeah.
that right now,
Go ahead.
that same stuff that happened in California is happening all over. I drive truck. They're not raking the woods
Oh
or
yeah.
the forest around here. There are trees that are on power lines right now. Like,
yeah.
that could happen here. Like, our own governor is not putting out, nor is Michigan, nor is Indiana. And I drive through these states all the time, and I see the same situation that caused that, except for we don't have the how do I want to say, the eucalyptus trees
Oh yeah, they're full
that,
of oil.
that are like
Yeah.
fire bombs.
Yep.
Okay, like, it'll be a
Yeah,
little bit
by
harder.
the way, those are an invasive species. They shouldn't even be in California. Just as a side
Anyways,
note.
but as you were bringing up California and Gavin Newsom, like, how many different ways can you try to start a fire without starting a fire? Shut off the water, don't rake the woods or the forests, don't do any fire prevention at all, and then cut the money from the fire services themselves.
Yeah, $12 million taken out of their budget. Sorry, it is what it is.
Yeah, but
All
here in
done.
Ohio, we're this close to the same thing right here.
No, I agree, and it's probably for the same reason. It's probably for DEI. It's probably for, well, we don't have enough of this color, this gender, that gender.
Well, the insanity needs to stop because there's lives at risk. There's people's properties that are at risk. I mean, when you're driving down a major highway and you see where a tornado went through and all the trees are just laid flat, and whatever they landed on is whatever they landed on, and it's still there today. Has our electric company gone down and removed those trees that are laying on the power lines? Nope. Why? Who's telling them not to do it? Because we have plenty of tree services, and I believe Toledo Edison has the authority to do it too. But years have gone by, and the same trees are laying on the power
I think
lines.
the utility companies are only going to do it as an as needed thing.
They sub most of that out.
Yeah, yeah, they got contractors that do that, and they're only going to do it as an as needed thing. If there's no power outage, they're not going to mess with it. Which it is what it is, but they're only going to do it when they have to, because they have a bottom line. They don't want to spend any money that they don't have to. So as long as the power's not out, they're not going to dick with it.
Well, I understand that. I also think that there's some shenanigans going on with the government to look the other way, because some of them are pretty egregious, where the tree is on the line, the pole is broke, everything is just like 5 feet off the ground. There's spots that are very bad, like at any moment in time it could. Why are we even setting it up for the situation to be worse? Is the question. And if by law I could grab my phone while I'm driving down the road and take a picture of this while I'm driving, which I can't by law, I would, and I'd post it, and I'd be going, look, why is the county, the city, the state allowing this to happen? Because there's things at risk here. And why is nobody else that have more like say so in government than me getting on this microphone right now and just stating this out loud? Like, where are the county people at? Where are the state people at that drive up and down the roads going, look, this is an issue right here? And when years ago, when I believe when Obama was in office, like, they stopped picking up the roadkill. They started letting all the foliage and the roadside stuff to grow 10 feet in the air to cause more issues and problems. But it doesn't really manifest in Ohio because we have a lot of farmland that gets cultivated. It gets plowed. We have a lot of stuff that just can't get burnt at certain points of the year. Like, if they tried to pull that in Ohio right now, maybe a couple 100 acres would get burned, devastating a family or two, but not like devastating the whole state like it is in California. Ohio's a little bit different than that particular area down there at the Palisades.
Yeah, have you ever been to California?
I have not, no.
California is a different breed. The top 2/3 of the state, they don't have that same issue as the lower third, because they maintain the property. Mm-hmm. Everybody shits on California, me included, because I fucking hate California. But I hate the lower third of the state. The top 2/3 of the state, I love that place. Mm-hmm. It's lush. It's green. The people are cool as shit.
Right.
They're like-minded, and they don't wait for the state to do the things that need to be done. Where the lower third of the state, if you do what needs to be done, you get jailed. You get fined. If you go into a woods in Southern California and run a rake, whether it be behind your lawnmower or an actual hand rake, you'll go to jail.
Yeah, that's the problem.
When you own a piece of property in Southern California,
you
have X amount of feet around your house that you're allowed to call and protect. It's too close to your house. It doesn't matter. When the woods catch fire, you're fucked.
Well, I heard that some people were actually doing some of their own fire prevention and raking their own forest or woods, whatever is in their backyard, and they were getting fined for it. But they were doing it anyways and taking the fine because they know that it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I did hear some of that come out.
The top 2/3 of the state of California for decades I believe decades. I'm drunk a lot, so I'm wrong a lot. At least a decade. They have been trying to secede from the state of California. They've been trying to become their own state. They're trying to become the state of Jefferson.
Yeah.
After one of our founding fathers. They
Right.
want to become the state of Jefferson. And that's where most of California's GDP comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the votes are in the southern half or southern third of the state.
That's where most of the people are at.
That's where all the people in fucking
But the smart
G-strings
people have the
fucking
farms
yeah.
that know what to do. You know.
Yeah. The lower third of the state, that's where all the people in G-strings are dancing around in front of kids.
Yeah.
You know. But that's where most of their votes from.
Mm-hmm.
So that controls the entire state. The northern part of the state is like, you know what? No, we're not part of this, panty party. We want out.
Well, that's where Ohio needs to take note and go, look, a lot of the big cities don't need to dictate what's happening out here, out in the country, out in the woods. Like we have a lot of urban areas, right? Even though I know California has got like second, third most populous areas. I don't know if Chicago holds that anymore. But again, look, let's do the rundown. We have Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, Lima, Youngstown. It's not like we don't have a lot of population, and we do. And the Democrats try to take advantage of that populated areas. Like, we got a pretty good deal a few years ago where during the census they redid the voting maps, and a lot of the populated areas got mixed in with the rural areas, and the voting statistics changed because more of the farmers got to vote with the urban areas.
You'll have to listen to that episode we did with Majewski, because he talked about redrawing the lines and how that affected voting.
Right.
You're right. We at one point it was changed where our more rural areas got to affect the urban voting.
Right.
But gerrymandering has affected that so bad. It's so skewed again.
Mm-hmm.
We're so close to Lucas County.
Yeah.
That's why our vote doesn't matter when it comes to state reps, because the lines are drawn in a way that our votes are zeroed out.
I kind of agree with you and disagree with you both at the same time, because I see where they were going with it, and they stretched it out on both sides. Whether or not they got their point across is up for debate. Like, did they do it well enough when they redrew everything? Did it accomplish their goals? I don't think it did, and I don't think you agreed that it did. Like,
all I know is that when it went my way, they changed it. They took it to court and somehow found a way to say that those line drawings were illegal. That's happened twice now that I can recall.
on the last one, they said it was illegal?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yep. That's why fucking Captor, other than Majewski dropping out, that's why Captor won, because they were able to say that the gerrymandering was unconstitutional somehow. So they changed it back so that all of her area, all of her votes counted, she won. And everybody outside of those borders, their votes didn't count.
I'm unaware of that. That's news to me.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm going to check that one out.
That's one of those crazy little nuances of what I do pay attention to in the
Right.
state. Because, like, they redrew the lines.
Right, I'm aware of that.
I was like, oh shit, we'll actually.
Yeah, we got a chance.
Yeah, we got a chance, and then it got changed at the last minute. But that's, in my opinion, that's legislating from the bench. That wasn't law. That wasn't constitutional. And I'm sorry, guys. That's my fucking phone. I thought I shut it off. I feel like fucking Gillen. Son of a bitch. But I really did. I thought that was legislating from the bench.
I was unaware of that. Like, somebody was suing over the lines that were redrawn.
Yeah, that went to the Ohio Supreme Court twice. And
well, see, like, nobody can really keep track of everything at one time, and this is why that's why you're checking stuff out. We both got different points of view, and we see different things. Like, I was unaware of the redaction to this, because this was all based on the census and where everybody was living, and they tried to do a 50-50 on the Democrats versus Republican areas, and we know where that's at because we live so close to Lucas County that they were trying to split or share a lot of that vote with our area. I was unaware of the redaction to what they call gerrymandering. I
actually thought it was kind of funny that that's actually named after a guy that his name was Jerry and he drew the lines. I was absolutely flabbergasted that that's how that started.
Yeah, I'm unaware of the term and
guy's
definition
guy's
on it.
name was Jerry, started with a G.
Yeah.
And that's how Jerry met. He was drawing the lines. I was completely blown away.
I'm just blown away at how some of this stuff can happen. Say the recreational marijuana and our voting districts can be changed in like a snap of a finger like that. And I mean, like, how many people pay attention more than us, really? Like, I'm not saying we're in the know, but
we're in the trench.
Right. And you can't know everything. Like, you can't watch every single TV station. And who's going to carry the Ohio redistricting map for the second time? It's like, you could try to keep up with the stuff, but it's just like...
Got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have a CDL, so you cannot imbibe in cannabis in any way, shape, or form.
Right, correct.
I don't like cannabis in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't do anything for me. Why do we care?
Because the people voted and said that that's what they wanted. And the government is snubbing their nose at the will of the people. That's why we're caring. When I retire from having the CDL, I will partake. I just can't right now.
I know law enforcement who know exactly how many days before they retire, and they say they're going to bake an entire thing of brownies.
Yeah.
High as fuck. People ask me why I give a shit. I give a shit because, like you said, we voted for it.
Right.
You know? And this bureaucracy, this blockade of reasons why you can't.
The boot on your neck.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it at moments like this. It's like everybody voted. It's been 2 years. Where's our stores? And I know the local cities have banned it, but it's in their corporate limits, right? Who's to say one can't form a business outside the corporate limits? Their jurisdictions only go so far.
Right.
There's plenty of spots just outside that have businesses of other kinds.
Except that you have to remember that counties that are like-minded, so let's say Delta. or Fulton County, Delta. Delta has prohibited any kind of dispensary inside city limits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of one in Fulton County. So, Fulton County zoning. If a place were to purchase a piece of property and get the building permit to put up a building, now they're getting a business license. And the county says, no, we're not going to give you license to run a pot shop.
Well, that's where the voice of the people need to come into play and override that. Like, if the people of the local cities, like all of them in this area, doesn't matter, you mentioned Delta, but I believe it's all of them.
But what do the people do? In my scenario, so Delta said nothing inside the city limits. A person buys a piece of property outside of town that's zoned commercial,
right,
or zoned dual zoning, residential, commercial,
right,
and they build a building. They get all the permits. They get all that stuff. They build a building and then tell the city or the county, I'm opening a dispensary.
right.
And the county says we're not going to grant you a permit. What do the people of the county do? What do we do?
We're supposed to go around and get signatures and put it on the ballot to vote against it. Because
we already voted for.
But, okay, this is where people get the inversion of the legislative power, where the federal government is the weakest, the state level is the second up, and then you go to the county,
Right.
but then you go the city after that. So you can vote on the county level and make it a county initiative and get the signatures required to get it on the ballot. I know it's legal on the state level, but it still doesn't mean jack when it comes to the county and the city level, because they override everything.
As
Just-
it should be.
Right. Just like your most powerful entity is your local sheriff.
Yep.
Like, they can kick out the state law enforcement. They can kick out the federal law enforcement.
Yep.
So when it comes to the local stuff, again, you just got to do another vote.
We already voted it in.
But that was on the state level. And it's a little bit different. Okay? So even if the federal level reclassified it, which I'm hoping they do because of my CDL, if they reclassify marijuana,
you still won't be able to partake.
I get where you're coming from on that. I'm not really going to argue a whole lot, but I still got my hopes up. And
I actually keep up on National Highway Traffic Safety.
yeah,
Yeah, you still won't be able to partake.
I know. I'm just.
It's just like your blood alcohol level is got to be.
It's
nothing.
0.04.
Yeah,
Just
same
half
with-
of what everybody else
Same
is.
with same with me with a concealed carry.
Oh, okay. You know, these rules change. I'm just saying, if you want it done on the county level, we got to get everybody in the county to vote for it. Like, there's plenty of examples of this through our nation's founding, of where, like, if it's not in the Constitution, and as our state constitution goes too, we have one. A lot of people don't know that. Just letting you guys know. We have a state constitution, and that allows for some stuff that I don't agree with. But once you get it passed on the state level, then you got to go to the county level. So if you want it done on the county level, if you got a piece of property that's in between the city limits, but it's still in the county area, you can get it passed on a county initiative.
All right. Well, I've never heard of this, so I'm gonna have to do some fucking homework. I have never heard of that.
Well, a lot of people in school get taught the inverse power of authority in our nation's government. Everybody thinks that the national level of government is the most
Everybody
powerful.
thinks the federal supersedes anything that the
Right.
states have. And it's the complete inverse.
But what I'm trying
The
to say is,
states have all the power.
if it's not a constitution on the federal level or the state level, you can do it in the county. And as again, where the marijuana law came into for the recreational use, we also got in a very aggressive abortion bill that went to our Constitution. That was a constitutional
Right.
law. And whether you agree with abortion or not, I do not. It's on the state constitution level. So if it's on that level, every county in Ohio that's part of Ohio has to abide by that constitutional law, unless overrode by another constitutional amendment on the local level. And it's got to be on the constitutional level, not just a normal legislative law. Like, it's supposed to carry more weight. That's all I'm trying to get at.
No, I follow you. I did not know, and I'm going to investigate,
Please.
that if it's in county and they won't give you a permit for it, that it had to be a vote type thing. I didn't know that. I mean, otherwise there'd be 9 pot shops on this side of 109.
Who wouldn't want to do it? Like, there is a desire from the people to do it. It's already been expressed. Anybody with any kind of money, who wouldn't want to do it? There's national weed shops.
Well,
They're like sickos.
because there's so many people that have the movie Reefer Madness still playing on their television at home. You know, they bought the 8mm video, they bought the VHS, they bought the DVD, they bought the Blu-ray. They're all watching Reefer Madness and thinking, "Oh my God, the black guys are gonna impregnate our blonde girls." That's why it's not just federally legal and it's done.
But there's nationwide, like, it's like Walmart's on the weed level, like they're national stores, and they would love to set up shop in Ohio. There's a lot of money to be made by it.
Look at the weed laws in Idaho. Holy
I'm unaware of those. If you want to let me know what those are, I'd
absolutely zero.
Zero?
No tolerance. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None. No tolerance. Possession, jail. Sales, prison. Shipping it in, prison.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely zero. So all these online ads that are like
Yeah.
50 state shipped to you legally. Oh no.
Right.
Oh no.
I know a lot
You
of
get
those.
caught
are
in Idaho.
Yeah.
You get caught in Idaho with something coming in the mail, you are going to prison.
I think Indiana is set up pretty similarly, because they're pretty hardcore on abstinence on it.
Indiana's weird. If you have a wedding reception with alcohol, you have to have 2 on-duty police officers at the door.
Yeah, it's
Fucking strange.
well.
I mean, I can get married in Indiana.
No shit. Now we need a mini bar.
They try to hold a very heavy religious line, but it's very strange because they're set between Illinois and Ohio, which is
Right.
not so much.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, what do you want to call it, like bipolar on this? There's a lot of issues, you know. Like they'll sell. There for a long time, they were selling Absolute, the real stuff, like the highest potent stuff, but nobody else would. And it's like,
Yeah.
but they won't allow some of this other
The
stuff.
guy I work with goes over there to get his version of Everclear. What do we got, Don?
You got 15.
15, all right. Yeah, the guy I work with goes over there to get Everclear. I'm like,
Way back. You can talk shit about me.
Oh, let's talk shit about Don.
All right. See you, Don.
No, guy I work with, his some member of his family is going over there for a wedding reception, and they gotta have 2 cops. But yet they sell, the.
Well, I don't know if they do anymore. I just know they did years ago because I have family members that would go over to get this to either partake in it or turn it into something else.
Yeah.
And they would get pulled over in Ohio or at the state line in Indiana because they had Ohio plates. So,
Do you want to hear a fucked up Ohio law?
Go ahead.
If you are driving in Ohio and you get pulled over and you have a tax stamp on the bottom of your cigarette pack, similar to this one here,
Yeah.
and it's not an Ohio tax stamp, it's $1,000 fine or 6 months in jail.
Right.
Because at one point you could actually leave the state and buy a carton of cigarettes.
As a CDL holder, when I did smoke years ago,
Yeah.
I would go to the Indian reservations on my routes,
Yeah.
and I would hit the one in the southern tier of New York, and I would buy cartons, 10 or more, for personal use, of course. And the tax stamp would be different. Like the cigarettes are so much cheaper,
Yeah.
and that's just another form of control over people because it's like, who cares where I buy my cigarettes at?
Yeah. Yeah, if you get caught in Ohio with a out of state tax stamp,
Right,
it's a misdemeanor and you can go to jail for it.
right. I never tried to resell these things. It was all personal use at the time, but yeah, I would. It was like $10 a carton. Who wouldn't want to buy them?
Right. Yeah. I had a friend that used to be able to buy them through the mail. He'd have them shipped to his house.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone. Yeah,
Right.
He was paying $10-$12 a carton.
Right.
That's gone. That's gone.
The freedoms, like this whole tax thing, keeps on going and going. Like, I didn't want to go too much on the federal level, but that goes right to the Doge thing. Like, the taxes on everything. Like the federal level just expects some kind of money for every transaction that you do. You move to the left, you get taxed. You move to the right, you get taxed.
Well, there's a book called Three Felonies a Day? 2 felonies a day? Something like that. All of us commit felonies every day and don't even realize it. Every time you do a barter, every time you trade something, and you don't pay a tax, if your barter is worth more than what you get, you're supposed to pay tax on that.
Right.
Everybody commits felonies every fucking day. This government is so convoluted. It's so weaved among itself that even the best lawyers in the world can't decipher what's legal and what's not.
Look, when everybody realizes that it's set up to do that, to make the average person doing everyday tasks a felon, I mean, people wake up. That's what the whole intention is for. That's why we have a whole library full of laws. Like, who's going to know all these laws? Who's going to remember all these laws? It's the unintentional felonies that you get involved in that, like some law enforcement knows about it. They're on the hunt for it. They see it, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I just did a felony? What?
Yeah,
Really?
Exactly.
And it is set up on purpose to make everybody like eligible to go to jail. It is to incarcerate everybody and to throw shackles on the average person. Period. That's what it's there for.
I agree.
From the federal level to the state level to the local level. You know, when people start realizing that and wanting laws to disappear and not think that you're going into total anarchy, because I've had these debates before, like, if we don't have these laws, then we're going to be in total anarchy. And are you kidding me? We're so far away from that right now. Like,
how could that possibly fall into anarchy if the laws change? How could that possibly fall into anarchy?
well, it's their ignorance and their lack of due diligence and checking things out. Some of the stuff that I've been talking to people about, because I get on social media, I voice my opinion out there. Anybody can check it out. And I am quite opinionated on what I got going on. And I've had people on the other side try to debate me on this stuff. And what ends up happening is that they get frustrated that I won't concede to their side. They'll just block me and the debate is gone. It's like I'm really trying to, like, instill a freedom-minded kind of onset in your head.
But you are at the same time willing to listen, right?
Yes.
You're listening. You're trying to understand.
That's what the whole debate is about, is to take their opinion and try to get the counter to it. But you have to listen first, you know? I mean, you can't truly debate anybody without getting their opinion. You have to let them talk.
Yeah.
So once they have their say-so and you start explaining how you differ from them, and then they just want to shut it off, like, okay, I'm done.
Are you so entrenched in your beliefs that your mind couldn't be changed?
No.
Are you sure?
Like, you would have to give me an example. Like I'm willing to listen to anybody. And if they have a really good point of view, I want to hear it. Even if it comes to gun control, which I think everybody ought to have a gun.
I think everybody ought to have automatic weapons and cannons and
right. I do too.
Gunboats and I mean, the Second Amendment is pretty clear.
Right. I shall not infringe.
Yeah, I should be able to own any goddamn thing I want.
Right.
You know.
And look, and we were talking about this earlier about people who have done criminal activity and they have a felony. There's plenty of states out there that even if you have a felony, you don't lose your right to protect yourself with a firearm. And I completely agree with it. Well, and then we debated on, like, well, maybe they should go through some kind of rehabilitation and probation and stuff like that. And we could talk about that, and I will agree with that too. I'm just saying, just because whatever goes on does not remove you from your rights from the Constitution. Freedom of speech does never get shut off, even if a pandemic hits. Your right to own and protect yourself with a firearm never goes away. I don't know why people get that so confused.
Well, as a former felon, I understand the restrictions put on me other than voting. That one I did not understand. You want to restrict my right to firearms? I get it. I committed a felony. You want to restrict my Fourth Amendment, where you can come and search my house? I had a drug charge. Okay, you can come in my house anytime you want to and look for drugs. I get all that. But I think that once you've fulfilled your duty, once you've fulfilled all of the requirements of your probation and parole,
Right.
I shouldn't have to pay the state to make that shit go away so I can have my rights restored.
I completely agree. And certain states agree with you too. Just not this one.
There's quite a few that once you've completed your incarceration and probation, your rights are fully restored. There's a lot of them.
Right.
This one just doesn't happen to be one of them.
That's why. Okay, we were talking about the medical marijuana.
I think I might reach out to Vivek Ramaswamy and ask him if you become governor of the state, so that my fellow friends,
right,
don't have to go through what I did.
Right.
And you know what's even more fucked up is that the state is paying to expunge people's fucking records that I paid to get rid of.
Right.
Because mine was a fucking pot charge. So I might just reach out to Vivek and say, hey.
I think that would be a very good idea. Because a constitutional amendment is solid. Like, there's no wavering from that. And for people during the pandemic to think just because there's some chance of people getting sick or ill that we have to give up our right to not tell you whether or not I've had a shot or not. Like, has anybody really let that one sink in? Like, everybody's going around going, yeah, I had a medical procedure. No, you don't have the right to know. I don't want to tell you. I'm telling people, no, mind your own business. And they're getting mad and furious at me. Like, seriously.
I was sitting at the doctor's office one day, and it was during the mask required shit.
Yeah.
And this guy walked in. Man, he had this aura of, I'm fucking better than all you motherfuckers. He walked in without a mask on. He had this air of, I'm superior.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady behind the counter said, sir, you have to have a mask on. He's like, but I had a COVID shot. I don't have to wear a mask. And she immediately shot the motherfucker in the penis. It doesn't matter, sir. You have to have a mask. I already knew the shots were bullshit.
Yeah.
But that right there codified it. Like, yeah, the shots ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Look, I drive truck, so I meet people from, California.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm going to check in this office, and it's an enclosed area with this guy, and I don't have a face diaper on, right? And he's got two. All right, and he's flipping out and telling me, I'm all up on my shots, whatever the requirement at that time was, and he's sitting there with two face diapers on, right? But he's got a pair of glasses on, and it's cold out. So what happens is his breath is going up past his nose to the mask, fogging up his glasses. And I said, well, I would give you any kind of validity if your glasses weren't fogging up right now. And he goes, what are you talking about? I'm fully protected. And I said, what are you worried about me for? You're fully protected. And you got two face diapers on. The people in the guard shack are flipping out on me right now like, you're pissing this guy off, right? We're about to have a fight right here. And I'm like, no, this guy isn't. Like, seriously. I'm like, he's all kinds of protected. Why is he worried about me? I'm like, I can see his breath coming out of his masks up onto his glasses. And this guy has the audacity to tell me I'm endangering him.
The grocery stores were the best. Are we down to 1 minute?
Down to 1 minute.
All right, folks. If y'all want to hear a part 2 of this shit, please let us know, because this has been a fucking fun conversation. Mike's Harder Podcast, gmail.com. Me directly on X at Mike's Harder Podcast. You got anything you want to throw out?
Well,
Context?
You got to like, subscribe, and share.
Share this shit. God damn it.
Yeah,
Share
like and share Mike's Harder podcast. Do it. That's all I'm going to promote. I'll promote this.
All
I ain't got nothing else.
I think I might want to have you back next week. But we gotta involve Don in this next time.
I just hope you guys talk shit about me. I gotta have something to laugh at a little bit.
No, we didn't.
Oh, fuck.
We got off into the weeds. Kind of figured we would.
Anybody who's following this shit and actually listens to it, we love you guys. We really do. We'd like you to share it so we can do some live stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make some waves on the political scene and get some stuff changed.
All right. Well, on that note,
I guess we're out.
we're out.
See ya.
Y'all have a
Stay
good night.
classy.
See you next time.